Yes, yes. Good evening, everyone. Empire Finance, and we are here talking about trading. And we are going to have a special guest today. Please be sure to subscribe and please do click that like button. And of course, share the live show. And of course, also invite people out there. Keep pushing the show. We really do appreciate it. My man here, KB from Pop Frames. How are you, sir? How you doing, man? How's your day today?
Great,
How
great,
you
great, great.
feeling? Have you ever had an
Ah,
interview to
most definitely.
seriously? We've spoken before. The first time we met, actually, we met in a seminar in Bramfontein. Uh, Actually, to be honest with you, it's the
Correct, yes.
first time. It's the first time I'm having a forex guest or someone who is specializing in forex trading or trading in a professional. You are with Prop Firm, and how long have you been with Prop Firm, and how are things down there and with Prop Firm?
All right, first of all, greetings to you and your viewers. It's an
Yeah,
honor to be here,
yeah,
especially the Fader as a guest on the show. As you said, you barely have any Forex guys on the show. So it is with
very
great honor and privilege to be sitting, stone with you guys, yeah?
yeah.
So I've been typically with prop firm trading personally for about say now 8 months strong now,
8 months.
and with FTC typically, so the funded trader capital is yeah, is what I've been doing typically, so with prop firms, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, like, I just wanna, talk about you guys with your story. Prop firm is still new in South Africa, right? Um, in my analysis, I do believe that it's a company that comes from
Definitely a
overseas.
new market.
Yeah, it's a new market here. So you guys are still like trying to push up and trying to gain reputation.
Correct.
So I've asked one of the leaders from prop firms, you don't even have like a head office as of yet here in South Africa. Am I correct?
Correct. So typically with prop firms, they're very new to the industry, especially the South African market per se, right?
Mm.
So with prop
Yeah.
firms, it's mostly based internationally, especially from the US soil. So with what we're trying to do with FTC, we're trying to actually break the barrier of having prop firms internationally, so and get it, locally,
Mm,
so and have things running from our end. Because, like I said, the
mm.
industry is big, and the market in trading, especially as South African, it's a big industry and market we have. So we're just trying to liaise and get into prop firm trading where most definitely we're opening it all up on all platforms.
Okay, sir. Of course, this is Empire Finance. Once again, I have my man KP. We are about to talk about some powerful topics, risk management, and it's a topic for all traders out there. This show is especially made for beginners, people who are still learning in the beginner stages. I know there might people who are advanced, especially maybe the people that you might be working with that are advanced. But most of the time when we do these shows, we try to bring everyone, the general public. So and plus, at this point in time, we are unaware who you are, and we like to know. So um, just a little bit, man, KB. Please tell us a bit of your background, like your journey in becoming a professional trader, being KB from coming from your home or your hood, and bring yourself up. Tell us your journey. How did you become a professional trader at prop firms, or your journey towards prop firms?
Excellent stuff. So essentially just a typical Kasi boy from the West Rand itself, in a small place
Okay,
called Mahlakeng from the West Rand. So typically that's where I'm from. So my
okay,
trading journey actually started quite enough, funny enough, back in 2017. So I was actually introduced to the
okay.
Forex market back in 2017, the first time I ever clicked a buy or sell. was back in 2017. And then
All
from
right.
there onwards, I was just so fascinated about this market, like, that ability to make so much money. Although back then, probably I didn't even know half of the things I was doing. I was just, a beginner like
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
else, just clicking and
yeah,
buy
yeah,
and just trying to understand why, what's going on, how people making money, and so forth. So my journey has been
yeah.
quite extensive. I've been in this forex market for quite some time, so it's just been
Okay.
constant learning throughout the years. Because I would say I had a peak back in 2018, 19. When you just think
Mm.
that yeah, you officially have it figured out, and then that's when you have something like COVID come into play, and then it
Yeah,
makes you realize
COVID,
that hey
man.
man, I actually know nothing because what you thought was in the market and
Yeah.
you thought you were doing was correct just completely turns around and you're like, no man, I absolutely know
Yeah.
nothing. So I had to go back, sit down and relearn. And through that relearning phase, that's when I actually got introduced to prop firm trading. And that's when I was like, okay, so there's another side to forex trading. It's not just trading your own capital. You can actually
Okay.
leverage over capital that other companies are willing to fund for you. That's when now I got more invested into learning about that prop firm trading. And then that's when I started hitting it from this 8 past months, I would say, has been my highest peak with
Mm.
prop firms.
Wow, wow, man. So, like, I hear you mentioning COVID. So, also on during the COVID time, during the lockdown times, you were thriving because you are a trader. Would you say that you were surviving as a trader during that time?
So it was definitely a time of, growth, a time of learning. Because for me personally, like, I think that's when I was still at my sponging stage, when I was still trying to absorb a lot. Because
Yeah,
what I thought I knew of the market is what I didn't know of the market. So COVID was more
yeah.
of a learning curve and a learning experience for me, not where as other traders became their peak and they actually, thrived the most out of it. It was more of a learning scenario for me.
Learning scenario, most definitely, man. Today we're speaking about risk management because when we had our conversation, you said this is one of your specialities, risk management. For
Correct.
the audience out there who might not understand the theme or the concept of risk management, uh, could you please care to explain what is risk management?
Well, so risk management is essentially what I call the sharpest tool in your trading shed. Without risk management, you will not survive these markets. I believe that is simply the best strategy, that is simply the best tool you can ever have as a trader in your arsenal of weapons. You understand? Because
Yeah.
similarly, so risk management, staying in the market, or you exposed to, and what amount of capital you're also willing to expose to the market. And it plays a big role in terms of your psychology as well. So psychology and risk management become a pair of its own, you understand? Because
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
all about how much
Okay.
exposing yourself to risk.
Mm.
It's all about how much exposing yourself to it. That's actually how I theme risk management, and that's it's either your sink or swim. It's like your lifeboat in the ocean of this
All
forex market or whatever market you are currently trading. It's literally a lifeboat that keeps you afloat.
right. Is control, reduce, mitigate, accept, strategy, reduce. All these kinds of things are come into play when you speak about risk management and more on risk management. I just wanted to also ask you this question, man. It's a bargain question, and it's a bargain issue within, especially newbies. So many traders come into the market and are taking risk, even newcomers. What is the difference between gambling? Actually, this is a huge issue between gambling and trading the financial markets, as to pertain
Markets.
with risk management. Please just explain to people. I always tell my students, I do also do some courses teaching people, keep on telling them that there's a difference between trading and gambling. Some people also take it as if it is gambling. At some levels, yes. There were levels where people made it look like it's gambling, to be honest with you. And people look like, they are taking chances. As pertaining to risk management, what is the difference between the two, gambling and trading the financial markets?
That's actually a great question, hey? So I think what separates traders and gamblers is simply what we call the annihilation of risk to reward ratio. So a
Mm,
solid trader or a solid professional trader would put in terms would understand what is their risk to reward portfolio with whatever trade they take, be it their trading style in their trading journey in the trading journals. Risk to reward is what I think annihilates you from being a professional, successful trader and a gambler. Because what gamblers do, they just go in. They're not calculated. They just go with whatever fits the boat at the point in time. But then, as a professional trader, your journey in essence is to calculate and mitigate the risk. So, what you do, you look into potentially leveraging your percentage on the account. Like I said, risk management is about exposure, right? You're exposing your capital to the forex market per se, trading market. But then now, what makes the slight difference between a gambler and a trader
yes.
is the usage of what we call RR, which is your risk to reward.
Okay.
So your risk to reward
Rest.
essentially is what gives you that ability to say, hey, I can stay in the market. And the best way to actually alleviate your risk to reward ratio is always
Yeah.
calculating it in a percentage sense. It makes more sense when you know
Mm,
how to percentage yourself in how to put in the capital. Say, okay, I have a capital of $100,000. And this hundred
all
thousand
right.
dollars per trade I will be taking, I'd be willing to expose and lose only a percent. But then through that trade, I'd still be willing to make gains of 3%, so that there becomes a formulated strategy. So in order for you to become a professional, you need to be able to calculate, you need to be able to mitigate the risk, you need to be able to know if I'm taking a trade, what is my potential outcome in percentage, what is my potential loss in
Mm,
percentage, what gains am I making throughout a week, what gains am I making throughout
yeah.
my trading month, what cycle are you using your
Yeah.
financial trading instruments for.
Yes, yes, yes. That's true, man. Thank you for that clarification, man. Because I know you are a trader, full-time forex trader, but you have known many markets before. We've seen the stock markets here in South Africa. We call them shares. The JSE. Do you have any experience with JSE
Correct,
or
yes.
stocks, maybe, in your on your
So
side?
personally, I have never traded stocks.
Mm.
Personally, I've never ever traded any stocks or any shares per
Even
se. It's
crypto.
always been the forex
Mm.
market per se, even
Yeah.
crypto. So it has never been crypto. Literally, strictly currency,
Mm.
forex market,
Yeah.
indices, commodities.
Yes, because the last time you spoke of Sandile Shezi. So as your inspiration. So what has made you to stick, firmly into the forex markets? Like what has like really attracted you to sort of like be like thriving in the forex market?
Well, I draw my inspiration as from a lot of traders per se. I think that's what keeps me afloat. But then, like I said back to you when we had our first encounter at the seminar that we were hosting, essentially my inspiration into this market was back then when we had our top traders in SA like your Sandile Shezi and your Dr. Ref
Yeah,
Wayne Shaman. You understand that was back then, and seeing them being able to mitigate and alleviate a market that we didn't know, because they literally broke into a market we were not familiar with. No one back then knew what trading was all about. We were just seeing
yes,
that
yes, yes, that's
as
true.
a young black child in Africa per se, you are able to get into that wealth status by simply being on your computer. And it didn't make sense. As an African
Yeah.
child, African parents, they're like, nah, it's impossible. So because they could break those barriers, that's why I drew so much inspiration from them, because they managed to set the trend for the forex market. for us who came behind them. And I think this is where we come to also inspire those that are still to come behind us, because as much as they put up a trend
Yeah.
for us that there is what we call a forex market, I think our trend right now is to also put up that there is what we call pop from trading, where you have higher funds that leverage your success in the trading already. So unlike back then where you have to start off with basically nothing or starting off with your own capital and you losing that,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
actually something you can piggyback off and make so much gains and become successful.
Oh man, that's yes, that's true, man. Of course, Empire Finance guys, please do send us your comments. Please do send some questions on the comment section if you are interested. I have my man here, KB from Prop Firms, a very very informed guy, young and ambitious. Guy who is a professional forex trader, started off forex and still in forex, and he's a pure forex trader. I've also, like when I started also, to be honest, I started off forex. We were doing sales, actually. We used to sell these physical
Sales, of
products.
course.
Yes, we had USBs that we would, and man, it used to cost a lot, like 35,000 rands, 30,000 rands for someone just to learn simple techniques on trading.
Mm.
Whereas someone could have just went to an MT4 and started performing, watching some, of course, some YouTube videos and developing themselves. But people have paid mad money, mad money. Hence, it brings me to my next actually questions. We're talking about people who have been hacked. We're talking about people who have been scammed into this industry, which is the dark side of it, which is not a nice side to talk about it, because now it has come to a point whereby when you talk about the word forex, it's a scam. It's a scam. You know what? I want you to also tell me that how it's forex is real. It's a real stuff. So hacking and scam. What is your experience? Have you experienced in your beginning, obvious when you were still starting? Have you experienced hacks and scams? Have you been hacked before or scammed before, according to your experience? And how did you handle it? Hello? Okay, Empire Crypto Finance, Empire Finance, sorry. It seems like we have sort of like have a glitch with our guest. Just disappeared like that. Let's hope that he's gonna be coming back soon. We do apologize for that. I'm not sure what has happened on his side, but of course, please stay tuned. We still have a lot to discuss with KP from Prop Firms. He is a professional forex trader. It just went offline. I'm gonna try and stick around so that I can just also wait for him and check on him and see if he can recover from that, because it just went offline like that. I'm not sure what happened, but let us please stick around with me until he comes back. But in the meantime, while he is off the interview, let us just look into some of the market analysis and some charts, looking at the updates and updating the charts. Some mad things that are going to happen in the market. Jackson Hole is coming ahead, and we are going to have a time where the market will be going on high volatility. All right. Okay. Here he is. He's rejoining us again. All right. That's a good one. Okay. Um, Empire Finance. And let me rejoin you, my man. Kind of lost us there, KB. Is everything okay
My
there, brother?
apologies about
Yes.
network coming in and out here. I'm still back online.
Yeah. Nah. It's cool, man. It's
All
all
right,
right, brother.
lovely. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, man.
Technical issues.
Of course, where were we? All right. Yes, talk about.
Yeah,
We're
so I
talking
think we
about
were still
hacking and
touching
scams.
base
Yeah.
on
Yes.
schema
Hacking
hacking.
and
Correct.
scams.
Yes.
Yes, when you
Nah,
are explaining
typically.
about.
No,
your
typically, I mean,
experiences.
people always believe that, that it's always a scam. So, I usually
Yes, man.
divide this into two categories, especially now when I'm in
Yeah.
my mentorshipping. I usually tell people there's what we call the two sides of Forex. We have what we call
Okay.
the Forex industry, then we have what we call the Forex business, right? The Forex industry
Forex.
is what
Okay.
we typically see on our
Interesting.
social medias, is what we typically see, the fast cars, the houses, the
Yeah.
money, the flexing, and all of that.
Yeah.
And all of that,
The
that's
flexing.
typically
Yeah.
what it is, where
Yeah,
people
man.
tend to mostly to end up getting scammed because they chasing a
Mm.
lifestyle they're seeing. They chasing, a great deal of
Yeah.
money that's out there. And then we have what we now
Yeah.
call the Forex business. So the Forex business
Yeah.
is where the real trading happens. This is where we
Takes
go
place.
in.
Yes.
This is where we execute, and that there is not a scam. So the Forex business that's not a scam. The scam usually happens
Okay.
on the Forex industry side when we're seeing all of these things on the social medias and so forth. So yeah, man. The people just
Yeah.
need to start retuning the mindset and understanding that
Yeah.
the forex market
Yeah.
has never been a scam. I mean, this is a market that has been here since the 1880s. So if something has been around for
Mm.
that long, since the 1880s,
Yeah.
it typically really can't be called and classified as a scam. You understand?
Mm.
Because there's
Oh,
real
okay.
money out there. I mean, there's
Mm.
trillions on a daily basis that get
On a
out,
daily
and from
basis,
those
man.
trillions on a daily
Mm.
basis, you understand? So we can't really
Oh,
say a market like that is a scam. Yes, there are scammers in our
it's not.
industry.
Yeah.
That's why I
It's,
separate the two.
yeah.
That there is an
Yeah.
industry, there is
Yeah.
a business.
Talking about separation, man. Tell me something. Newcomers, people who are still fresh in the game. Can you tell
Yes.
them how to avoid these kind of things and how to stay away from scams? You know, is there a way, maybe according
Wow,
to you, like
that's
some
a
can give?
relatively big question.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I won't say typically you can avoid scams. I mean, they typically always in our face. Even I personally try to get scammed on a daily basis.
Oh my
DM
God.
me, invest so much, so much. So as a beginner,
Yeah,
I think it's with due diligence to have your research, especially when you're looking for
yeah,
mentorship, especially when you're looking for people that are
yeah,
more verified in the industry, as we
yeah,
say. If you're going to be following someone, fall into the trap of not following the legit account, number one. So you'd follow
mm,
an account that's fake and not you don't verify the account. I think that's where the first problem begins. And then once you now join that mentorship or join that group or that guru you're following, or you're a
yeah,
trader joining a course, to say, hey, listen, yeah, I want hard evidence. Show me proof. Show me, evidence that you've been
yeah,
trading as
yeah,
you say
yeah,
you are a
yeah,
guru. Because numbers don't lie.
yeah,
One thing about numbers, they don't lie. And if someone is legit and is your mentor, they will show you a backtrack of financing and files that, hey, look here, I've been trading. Here is my trading journal. Here's my trading plans that I've been doing and been following. Because one thing, like I always say, numbers don't lie. So if your
yeah,
mentor is
yeah,
willing to show you and give you hardcore evidence
yeah,
of journaling
mm,
and financing that, look, here is it. I'm not saying give me your money,
mm,
invest your money, because I think that's where typically most people get scammed. They try to run quickly for that. Invest so much, I will
yeah,
give you back
yeah,
so much in a
sure.
return of 2 hours or
Yeah,
24 hours, and that's where the
yeah,
scamming usually
yeah,
happens. So as a beginner, avoid those people that DM you, because I
yeah,
believe no professional will DM you, no professional will
yeah.
force you to invest
Okay,
into something
that's
when,
true,
like
man.
I said, if you're a professional, you know where your
Yeah,
financial backing is.
yeah. A lot of people like using the brokers brands. They use these big brands, brokers brands. They put them up front there. You can invest so much. Obviously, having being an affiliate, you can also earn from having people to click on your so-called link, and obviously you make a profit out of this. But now going into the brokerage business, there are brokers out there, but they are the business side of forex.
Correct.
Like you said, there's a forex business into it, and there's forex trading into it. An individual can just show up and say, okay, I'm a broker, and you can trade there so much, and you can make so much money, and flesh it all out there. Meantime, it's just a face. Maybe even that brokerage doesn't even exist. But now, how to identify authentic broker authentic forex brokers, sorry. What are some of the characteristics that one should look for when they are looking for an authentic broker?
Correct. All right. So when we get into brokerages, it's also with due diligence as a trader, as an investor. So I refer to us as investors because we're investing our money, right? So as an investor,
Yes.
it's with due diligence to ensure that if you're gonna be putting your money into anything, it's legitimate, it's regulated, and it's your duty as a trader to ensure that you have a regulated broker, because I mean you're investing your money into something. So it's your duty to go find a regulated broker. And how do you go about that? You go about that essentially through things like going to the FSC site and seeing that does this broker have an FSP number? Take that FSP number, then you put it on the FCSA site. See does it appear under that market? Because if it chances of
Okay.
it, if it doesn't, then chances that the broker is kind of on the fake side of life. So there's
Yeah.
certain areas and certain tools you can use for you to actually go
Yeah.
see if your broker is legit, to see if it's regulated, to see if it's licensed for you to be trading in those markets.
Yeah. Of course, man. I have
So there's
Madman
plenty of tools
Madlala.
one can utilize.
All right. Of course, man. That's true. Madman Madlala just said exactly what you are saying. Educate yourself so you can easily spot a scam that may find via mentorship. Thank you very much, Metman Matlala, for your comments. And once again, he commented and said, uh,
Education,
a
man.
mentality, yes, a mentality of getting rich quick will always lead you to scammers. Yeah, I think we would both agree on that, because there are a lot of people out there
To
who are
scam. You
just,
see, that
yeah,
statement
man, to
is
scam you.
very true. That
Yeah,
statement is very true.
that's thank you very much, Metman Mazlala, and we are looking forward to receiving. Of course, everyone else out there, please on the comment section, ask questions, do comment. I have my man here, KP from Prop Firms, tonight. Talking about risk management, trading, and how to protect yourself against all other bad deeds that are happening out there. But now we're going to step into a section of trading on this Empire Finance TV. Be sure to like, and please also to click that subscribe button. And of course, man, you know what? Going into trading, my brother, now that you are a trader, someone that is trading, now I'm going deep into some technical stuff. What is the best trading strategy you've ever used, man? Maybe there are people who are hungry for this information, but strategies, they vary from one trader to another. So what is the best strategy for you, man?
All right. So if we wanna
Yeah.
talk strategies, I mean, correct, correct.
Yeah.
So, like you said,
What's the best?
the strategies vary from trader to trader. Each trader has their own
Yeah.
individual tactics and their own strategies. But then, if you're
Yeah.
gonna refer to me personally, so I
Yeah.
full on trade what we call SMC, also known as smart money concepts or ICT, as some
Mm.
people call it in the game. So I'm a smart money concept trader, fully so. The people that
Okay.
see my content, the people that are in my mentorships know exactly what I do when it comes to trading, and it's strictly smart money concepts. And with smart
Mm.
money concepts, it's a following of institutional money flow. It's following of trading of or piggybacking off, the institutional banks, your hedge
Mm.
funds, all these big other
Okay.
firms. So we piggy off
Mm.
them. Obviously, you can't trade exactly like a bank. We'll never know
Yes.
where the bank would be pushing them. But then if you can actually mirror and piggyback off them, then you are set to
Mm.
make a certain amount, of profits or certain amount of success because you're following the big crowd. Well, not the big herd per se, but then you're following the big
Mm.
money and where the big funds are being poured out to.
Yeah.
So I would say personally, the best strategy I work with is SMC.
Yeah. So this, when you talk about banks, are you international banks, local banks?
So when you talk about banks, essentially we talk about the big institutions. We talk about your international banks. We're talking about your
Okay.
RMBs when it comes locally. So we're talking about big bankers like big institutions because these are the
Mm.
people at the end of the day that control that trillion that we're speaking about. That's them, the
Yeah.
World Bank per se. We have
Yeah.
these people that we look into following and picking back off, certain elements because they usually tip their hand off, especially when you trade.
Yeah.
You'd see certain tip offs that one would want to take that, okay, so the
Mm.
amount of liquidity is gonna be rested there. So instead of being part of the herd mentality that's waiting for a certain setup or a certain, diagram or certain tool for them, then we'd be picking off those institutional moments and order flow to grab all those levels of liquidity, to be grabbing all that financing laying there for us as SMC traders.
Okay. On your, with your experience, what are some of your biggest losses and some of your biggest gains as a trader? With this experience, that you
Wow.
are, because it's
Hmm.
interesting what you are telling me right now. You follow high level institutional trading system, but following them, what has been your greatest highs and your greatest lows?
Lows. Excellent question. So I'd say still coming back up when I was still, in my early years of trading before I got introduced to FTC. I'd say my biggest loss I had
Yeah.
personally made on a trade was roughly say about
Yeah.
70,000 Rand, about 70K per se. That was, I think, the biggest loss I once took. And then in
Oh
terms
God.
of gains and
Jeez.
rewards, yeah, hey, back then, back then, I mean, we are
That's a lot.
trading, we were just doing it for the sake of doing it. And thing is,
Yeah.
like I said, there was a point in time where I got to understand that this market actually can do
Yes.
so much for me. And back
Okay.
then, obviously, it was more of a lighter thing whereby we were just trading. That was, the
Okay.
system of thinking back then. Until you get to a point where it becomes sustainable and now you need to start treating it as a career. And once you get to that point of treating it as a career, that's when you start seeing the difference of, hey man, this is how I'm shifting from making so much and losing so
Okay.
much to potentially making a success out of it. So my gains are, more on a consistent
Mm.
side. My gains are more on a daily side. So I can't say right now I can cap it up, but then I could look into my net
Yeah.
equity that I currently have, whereby I'm trading over essentially
Okay.
400,000K
Yeah.
in US dollars of funds. So if you convert that into rands, you'd similarly see
Ooh, rents,
similarly
millions.
looking into in a portfolio of about 4 million to about 5 million
Oh,
in portfolio of
rents.
funded what you call funded accounts per se, or funded
Count.
equity. So it's
Yeah.
similarly based on that. So obviously the gains of that is far more greater because we look into percentage payouts, percentage splits, and
Mm.
so forth. So I'm handling that type of money right now. So, but then if I
Yeah.
were to say a loss I really
Damn.
took that was big back then, well, now still coming up, and that
Yeah.
took me out because I completely had nothing out of that. That's about 70,000 per se.
Wow, you're handling a lot of money, man. You are handling a lot of money. You are a trader. I don't know. Maybe there's higher
That's
amounts. Yeah, man. You're handling a lot of money, and you are not even trading for a bank. You're just trading
yeah,
for this. Imagine if you were trading for a bank.
that's
Talking about banks and huge institutions. Institutional trading. banks and hedge funds make profit by trading in general. Okay, how
Correct.
does a
Correct.
broker like prop firms make its profits, and how you guys are different from institutional traders or banks, if I should say?
Excellent question. So I think I first need to separate the two from
Yeah.
each other, because a prop firm, number one, is not a broker, right? So a prop firm is a company
Okay.
that is willing to give out funds for traders that prove that they're successful, like FTC, Funded Trader Capital. You get to them, you buy a challenge, you prove that you're worthy of them giving you large funds to trade, right? That's a prop firm. Then obviously a brokerage
Okay.
is where your trade move in the market. That's where your broker comes in. So what prop firms
Mm,
do, they do have host brokers under them, because prop firms mostly are never
mm,
brokers. They just that company that says we have the funds, prove to us that you have the ability to manage risk, which
yeah.
is key importance of what we're speaking about, the risk management. Once you can prove that ability by passing
Mm, mm.
those challenges, then they fund you. So it's usually a two-step challenge that you go through. You go to phase one, where usually you have to pass 8% of your account. So you need to give an 8% return without losing 5% on a daily drawdown, and then without losing a maximum of 12%. Once you pass that phase one, you move on to your phase two. When you get to phase two, similarly, it's about now giving out a 5% pass without losing into the daily drawdown. Once then you can prove
All
that you can
right.
actually pass a phase one and a phase two, your third phase is now
Hey,
where you get actually funded. So it's not like automatically they just give you the funds. You need to prove your worth as a trader that I do have, that level of risk management. Because imagine someone giving you a million and saying, "Here, here's a million. Yeah, you say you trade, just run with it," without giving you any mitigation of any rules or
okay.
anything like that. Chances of you likely losing that million are very high. But then if
Yeah.
you have rules and you have systems in place, you'd literally
Mm,
annihilate you losing the amount of funds that personally you'd have at that point in time. So I think that's the difference between a brokerage, because with brokerage it's your own personal funds. With prop firms, it's
okay.
funds that you get from the firm itself.
Oh, all right. So let me just ask you: have you ever went through the challenge for prop firms where you need to prove yourself, or did you just simply went in straight in as a trader, as a trusted
So
trader,
I
if I should
think
say?
every individual has to prove themselves. Because I mean, if you can't prove yourself, then what portfolio are you bringing to the table? You understand? So I
Okay.
also had to go through all of that and prove myself that, hey, as much as I proclaim that I'm a good trader, I need to show it on paper. So you get your
Yes.
challenge, you have to go past your challenge, then you get funded. Once that happens, then you do know that, okay, we are in a good running, let's go for it, and then you will get funds. Because simply the more you prove yourself, the more
Mm-hmm.
you become consistent, the more they scale your account. So they start giving you higher and higher funds. Because the highest you could
Mm,
actually get funded with FTC is like $2.6 million. So imagine having $2.6 million of funds available for you to trade. That there is a
mm,
lifetime set. So that's the highest amount you could actually scale up to trading on a monthly basis. Then they scale you up. So they don't put you in one position saying that, okay, you came in for a 10K challenge and you'll stay at 10K. If you're showing consistency, you're showing profitability, then you get scaled up. So imagine being scaled up to a level where you are funded with $2.6 million. We're not talking rands here, we're talking dollars. That there is, life on its own.
yeah.
So that already should be telling you
Yeah,
that
man.
the growth is definitely up there, and I think that's what sets us
Yeah.
differently. So
Yeah, oh, man, I'm tempted, man. I'm tempted to also like join this traders big time. I'm very much tempted. Empire Finance, of course. We are here with my man KB, and we do have a question. Thank you very much, Johannesburg Homes and Kitchens. I'm not sure who's the person, but thank you for that question. How does MSC
does
differ from fundamental
SMCs
trading?
differ from fundamental trading? Excellent question. So with SMC, like I said, we are following concepts of institutional order flows. So we are trading and picking back off the major traders or the major influencers in the financial market, whereby with fundamental trading, it's more based on news
Mm,
related events. So you are trading news data, such as your interest
mm.
rates, such as your non-farmers
Yes,
saying,
yes, yes,
such as
yes.
your inflation, such as your
Yeah.
you are trading based on news data. And then if you're trading your SMC, it's more technical trading. It's more sentimental trading where you fuse the two together, where you're fusing that news release events, that news data, plus your technical, and then you make it one sentiment. Hence, it's called sentimental trading. Whereby with fundamental trading, strictly just you focusing on news release data and you're using that only as your tool. Whereby with SMC, it's basically a fusion of both. You're using your technical side, you're using your fundamental side, you're infusing it as a sentiment to work out your overall trading journey.
Thank you very much, Johannesburg Homes and Kitchens, for that questions. I hope you are answered. I hope you are satisfied with the response that we're getting from KP Empire Finance. KP, man, I'm about to pull up a chart right here, discussion on technical analysis, but I'm looking deep into the Rand situation. Currently, the Rand is trading at, let me just make
Hmm.
sure of the statistics here, 18 rands per dollar. Okay. Now, I can look back as
And
far as
it's
2012,
18.
2010, it
Correct.
was, yes, yeah, it's at 18. 2012, it was about 7 rands per dollar. Yeah. During that time. Okay, the dollar was still strong. So I just have those questions. In your view, looking at the depreciating rand over the years against the dollar, what does the future hold for the rand, in your own opinion?
Well, excellent question. So, please don't take my word for it. I'm not a financial advisor, so hey, so people mustn't literally quote unquote me here. But then,
Yeah, yeah.
what I can say is that it's this is the best time to be trading USD accounts. Honestly,
Mm,
it's the
mm,
best time of honestly to be trading USD accounts. And I think this is why I simply enjoy the fact that I'm a prop firm trader, because you're trading
okay.
USD accounts. Because like you said, the rand to the dollar has moved from a typical 7 rand to roughly
Yeah.
18 rand. Last week I was actually sitting at
Think-
19 rand. Last week
Yeah.
it was sitting at 19 rand. So
Fluctuating.
imagine that
Yeah.
big shift and big significance of that value of
Yeah.
$8 to the rand value. So
Yeah.
honestly, from what I'm seeing, I'm still seeing that fluctuation happen. I mean, currently
Uh,
we having our BRICS event, right? And there's
yes, we
potential
do.
talks that hey, when we do get that merge of BRICS, we might actually hold a stronger value against the dollar. But then that is something
Well,
that's gonna take years to mature. You understand? That might
okay.
take years to mature. So that's typically a move you won't be seeing happening now. Because I mean, at the end, for that to formulate, you need to get all of these currencies working as one. You need to get the world interbank currency per se. So the value of the rand to the dollar right now, as much as I'm South African,
Hmm.
our rand is very weak. And the only time I want to touch rands is when I'm doing
Mm,
obvious local transfers, when I'm at a shop, when I'm at doing but then anything within my trading will always be a USD based account.
yeah.
Anything USD based account is definitely what you'd always want, because that $1 you make, you typically have already made 18 rand, 19 rand. That's a loaf of bread that you've made from $1 on the market. You're
Oh,
literally making a loaf of bread with $1. You understand? So the
of
level of
course. Yeah.
rands to dollars right now, hey, this is the best time to be trading dollar based accounts. Honestly, that's the best
Yeah.
advice I'd want to
Okay.
give out. That's the best thing you can take out of me and
So,
quote me for that. Not the
all right.
overview of where the market will go, but then quote me for trading a
Yeah.
dollar account would be best.
Mentioning BRICS, is it still worth it to trust in the strength of the rand going forward? Since you've mentioned the BRICS, you say that there
Honestly,
are major prospects. Yeah.
personally, I wouldn't. Like I
Okay.
said.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you wouldn't
Now
trust in the
there's major
industry.
key play happening. You understand?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Until I see that sentiment of bricks formulating and bricks actually happening, then my perspective might change. Because now that's when you'd say, okay, then the dollar value might lose itself. Because with the potential of what's going on is that here say that once we have that fully merged BRICS outlet and that fully merged BRICS currency, $1 might now end up costing $55 per se to that capacity max. So I wouldn't want to be trapped in that side. I'd want to be moving with the winning team. So if the BRICS currency comes out as stronger, obviously I'm switching what I'm doing to the winning team. But then if we still want to be using the rand to the dollar effect, I will always be in the dollar. So I might be in South Africa, but then believe you me,
Mm.
the value of my finance is definitely the dollar estate and the dollar index
Dollar
itself.
is the way. Okay. What about the pound? What about the euro, man? You are just because the pound and the euro is stronger than the dollar. Those two currencies are
No,
even
most
way
definitely.
stronger.
The euro
Yeah.
and the pound is stronger, but then if you look into what holds majority of the finance and what has the strongest backing, it's always been the dollar. I mean, the
Okay.
dollar has the strongest backbone. Yes, the euro might be of greater value, the pound might be of greater value, but then the dollar has the biggest economical effect. When it comes to the economy, you can't lie about it. The dollar has the backbone of the financial industry on a chokehold, honestly.
Of course, Empire Finance, and we've been joined by a professional trader. And we are about to disappear. Guys, please be sure to click that like button. Please be sure to subscribe and still do comment. You can still ask questions, and if still interested to know more. And last one, KB, this one should be quite straightforward, man. Your parting advice for the beginners and the young traders, there are a lot of young Forex traders, in terms of risk management. What would be your parting advice and say, you know what, this is your advice, especially newcomers and young traders that are inspired, maybe probably by people like you who are trading at a professional level, who have not yet seen the millions that you are trading on?
Education is what you'd firstly want to invest in, right? Invest
Okay.
in your education. If you really want to take this professionally, so invest in what you're doing. Your craft needs to speak for you. You can't want to treat trading as a side hustle and expect a payout of a professional. You understand? If you really
Yeah.
want to get fully invested in it, learn the education. As a beginner, stick to education. Don't jump to wanting to get into the market and trading. There's a reason we have demo accounts. It's for learning purposes. Learn, invest in your education. I think the biggest thing you could ever pay yourself in is honestly the amount of learning that you can put yourself into. Personally, myself, I'm still
They're true,
learning.
man.
The learning never stops.
Okay.
So it's not because I'm at this level that I'm at, I think I know it all. Because remember, the market is forever revolving. So
Yes,
learn,
yes.
invest in that education yourself. I mean, there's plenty content out there, and there's plenty free content for those people who don't actually even have the financial backing, but then they saying, hey, listen, yeah, I'm willing to learn about this. I'm willing to do 1, 2, 3. We have, websites like your Baby Pips that give you a full blown course as to what is this market that you trade,
Mm,
what it does, how to go about it. There's a lot of content out there.
okay.
There's even the app out nowadays, you get it for free. But then it's all about the timing that you put in. Are you putting in that time for you to get the outcome of what you want? Are you putting in that hustle? Are you putting in that grind? As
Yeah.
our modern generation call it, if you do put in that time, the chances of you becoming successful, it's similarly there. It's like when you are studying for an exam, you're studying for a test. In order for you to pass that test, you need to put in the time in the library, you need to put in the time in studies. You can't expect to get
Yeah.
into an exam venue and pass it without actually studying, without doing, the background research, without doing anything. Similar with our market, you need to treat it as if it's a course as well. This is why we have
mm,
mentorships. This is why we have one, two, this is why I have education. All of that formulates into one greater deal that allows you to become that success that you need to be in the market. So, best
okay.
advice I'd give to any beginner coming to the industry:
Yeah.
invest in your education. Invest in the education in
Mm,
trading before the trading happens. Practice on your demos, practice on whatever, see, get a feel of it. Then from that day,
mm,
work on your psychology, which is my biggest factor when it comes to trading. Psychology is the biggest thing ever.
yeah. Trading
Once you move
psychology.
from the educational part of things and you are now ready, get into the trading psychology becomes the it factor, because that there is your make or your break point. Because if you don't have your psychology set correctly, then
Yeah.
literally everything flies out. Everything you've learned, everything you thought you knew just goes out of the window because of one key thing: psychology. So that would be
Mm,
the simply second major thing you'd want to focus on primarily after everything, is the trading psychology, followed obviously then by your risk management. Once you now have your education aligned, you have your psychology aligned, you have your risk management aligned, then you have your risk management aligned, then everything becomes easy and as smooth sailing. And I wish these are the things I knew back then. I really wish I could go back and start over and learn all these things in this manner and step. That there is the education, there's the
yes.
psychology, then there's a risk management to it all. I think if I knew all of this back then, I think I would have been able to manage of my generation per se. But then I think
Mm,
it's all a stepping stone. Everything happens for a reason. You have to
yeah.
go through your losses. You need to
Yeah.
go through your tough times in order for you to thrive
Yeah.
out as a stronger and as a better character in through it all.
All right, sir. What are your future plans now? You in prop firms and you are trading so much money, trading millions and millions of dollars in rands and so forth. But now, what is the future for KP? What's your next step forward? Is this it? Is this it for you at FTC prop firms, or are you looking to step much more forward um, in your future?
That's an excellent question, actually asking. Hey, well, currently, so I'm a fully blown trader. I enjoy this level of trading that I'm doing. I really enjoy being in
Okay.
the markets. I enjoy dictating price. I enjoy taping price, and speaking
Yeah.
about where price will be going, what price is going to be doing. And I think that will always be my number one baby. It will always be my passion. But then I think through
Yeah.
it all, what I want to achieve personally myself is to grow so much in this industry and grow so much capital that one day I have my own hedge fund. And I think that would be my end goal when I get
Wow.
to that capacity of having a hedge fund. So
Okay.
that's what
That's
I'm looking into, and that's the future I'm seeing. Obviously, growing in between my prop firms and growing and scaling my portfolio bigger,
mm,
also handling, those millions of dollars instead of millions in rands. I'd also want to handle those millions of dollars and get to just a point of being able to have a fully blown hedge fund myself, and just have an industry open for all South Africans, all Africans per se,
mm,
where the teaching happens, the trading is live, having a trading floor where we all executing and we all making, so much money that, I mean, we need to be shut down by bigger institutions and we becoming a threat in the industry. So I think that's the key chain and end goal of where I want to be. To see myself
all
owning
right.
multiple trading floors all over Africa
Mm, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. All the best, man. It looks like you have a heavy, heavy, heavy duty ahead of you. Hedge funds are not a
for that.
joke. I've looked into
Definitely
hedge
not.
funds. There is a level of education that you must have to qualify, in fact, because you need to have a license. You cannot just say, I'm going to build a hedge fund and so forth. It needs to be
Correct.
institutionalized. And when does is you have to go through some certain examinations in order to be authentic. So there's a heavy duty ahead of you. Even experienced accountants, even graduate people, have heard that it's very difficult for them to be able to be authentically uh, be a hedge fund manager on a professional level and managing people's. But
Trade.
thank you
Correct.
very much, KP, man. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for your information. Thank you for coming through, man, on Empire Finance. And of course, to our audience who have been patient with us over this period of this interview, thank you very much for sticking with us. This is Empire Finance, and we are coming to a close. And as I was saying, okay, there's a comment right there. Let me just look into it. Last more. Good evening. Someone is just greeting. Good evening to you, Odaka Precious. Good evening.
Good
Thank you
evening
very
to you as
much.
well.
Yes, even though we are closing, but thank you very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Please check out the full segment of the show with KB, talking about risk management. A lot of educational stuff went into this platform. Please check it out on YouTube, and please do share it and invite your friends. But already we are closing. KB, man, thank you, bra. All the best for your future endeavors
Thank you very
going
much, man.
forward.
It's been such a pleasure being
Yes.
here.
Yeah, man. Okay. All the best on
Definitely.
Prof. And please,
So
yeah,
yeah, man, in
we'll keep in
closing,
touch.
thank you for having
Yeah.
me. And yeah, great
Yes.
stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
Hope
Okay.
hope I'll be
We
back
got,
soon, and
yeah.
dropping more insight as well. And definitely
Yeah,
thank you so
man.
much for the platform. And I guess it
Yeah.
never stops here.
Call,
So let's open doors for eons and generations
yes.
to come.
Thank you, man. Also, call the big guys, man, from Pop Frames, the bigger guys, to come through, for some interviews like this, to hear also their side of the story. Well, you graced us with your presence, then this is the opening door. FTC, for now, they might not be as big as they are, but like the way you are saying it, man, I do think that you guys are going to be quite big in the next 2 or 3 years, and it will be very difficult for me to access you, maybe because you will be so busy that you will be enclosed by that whole business and unable, because when the firms get big when the firms get big, people get busy. So thank you, man, for coming through. Let's keep in
Now
touch.
you'll always have access to me, man. You'll always have access to me,
Yeah,
definitely.
man.
And then yeah, we'll just
Don't
keep
change
in
your
touch, and then
contacts. Yeah,
let more
yeah,
traders come through.
yeah.
No, my contact will
Let
remain the
the
same, definitely so. Definitely so.
You're right. I'd keep you, man. See you around, brother. I'll keep in contact, and thank you very much. And good night, brother. And of course, this is Empire Crypto, no, Empire Finance. And thank you very much once again for everyone for joining us here on Empire Finance. Watch out the full interview. Once again, we are no longer Empire Crypto. That's why you hear me saying Empire Crypto. It's Empire Finance, okay? Empire Finance. Thank you very much. Until next time. Thank you for joining. Thank you.